Also coming out February 8th is What Men Want, which is I don't know if it's in the same world as What Women Want. It probably doesn't really matter. There might be a reference to Mel Gibson at some point, but beyond that, it doesn't need to fit. It's not like a sequel.
Right. From what I understand, I think it's like a reboot.
Yeah.
If you want to call it that.
Yeah. So I think it might be along the lines of the Ghostbuster movie, where the characters kind of exist, but are not really that important to the news story.
Right.
But when I heard that this was coming out, I was like, oh, another gender swap remake just to prove that women can also be funny, similar to Ghostbusters, the Ocean's
with this one it could work both ways, but the problem with all the movies that are doing the gender swapping is they're not being funny for funny's sake. It's more at the expense of men, and kind of instead of just the movie being funny, is it just going to be like an anti-man movie? That's just ultimately going to be what is what's going to make this movie succeed or fail.
Yeah, so like with Ghostbusters, Paul Feig went in with an agenda to prove that women are funnier than men, which it's crazy because he was a part of, I think he directed Bridesmaids, which is hilarious. It's so funny.
It is.
But then they made Ghostbusters with this agenda of like, we're gonna show everyone how wrong they were for thinking women aren't as funny, which I wouldn't say women aren't funny, but if you have an agenda on, especially with comedy, it's never gonna work. And watching the trailer for this, I don't get that vibe. It seems like a decent concept, and I think the dynamic between listening to what men are thinking versus what women are thinking is much more comedic. And having Tracy Morgan, having Shaq, Mark Cuban, all these random people in here, I think it's going to work. Well, I think the trailer works really well. I enjoyed the whole trailer. That may be the best jokes throughout the movie.
Well, the thing about it though is if it sticks to what's going on in the trailer seems to be all kind of slapstick humor, like, you know, the dude throwing the football to the guy next to her and she intercepts it. You know that's slapstick stuff.
Yeah.
You know, her driving the car is slapstick.
Tracy Morgan elevates any comedy that he is in. Like he's similar character in everything, but his humor is just so random that there's no way to expect what's coming. Like when he's at the poker table and he's like, I smell bread or I smell toast. Am I having a stroke? And he's like, no, there's toast in my pocket. And you're questioning, you're like, wait, why do you have toast in your pocket? Like, what is that? Why are you relieved that you just have toast in your pocket? But because that's a crazy thing also.
Well, let me ask you this. Did you see What Women Want?
Yes.
Okay, I have not.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Did Mel Gibson drink something that made him, I guess, hallucinate and hit his head, just like in this movie?
I think he hit his head. I don't think he drank something.
Okay.
It's been a long time since I've seen it, so like the specifics are tough.
Right.
But the What Women Want was much more like teaching him to be sensitive, like to like hear people out and listen, and like to soften his edges to be more relatable. And it wasn't like anti-men or anti-male or anything like that. Like it might sound that way, but I don't. That's not the impression I get from that movie. It's just kind of like,
is it something that he was just insensitive to women, and then like as he listened to them, he fell in love, which I'm sure probably happened, and then at the end of the movie, he learned to be like, oh yes, I was a jerk, and this is how you're supposed to act.
Yeah, well, it's kind of more like, oh wow, if I listen, it's way easier. Was kind of the message. It was like, if I just ignoring them, my life is difficult. If I take a minute to listen, it's a lot easier. And that seems kind of the message of that. Doesn't seem the message in this movie. This movie
Right.
just seems like crazy. But
Right. This movie seems like a mixture of slapstick and then, it doesn't really give you who the villain of the movie is.
yeah, I
So
think I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Max Greenfield from New Girl, the white guy
the guy that she intercepts the ball. Yeah.
I don't know if it was from him, but the guy who's saying, "Oh, we don't have any meetings scheduled except for that poker tournament tonight."
Okay.
He plays like perfect schmarmy, like jerky guy. So I'm pretty sure it'll be him, but I don't know what the conflict will be. It'll probably just be workplace stuff, but
yeah, workplace related, and
I do like.
I don't know what lesson that she could learn from the trailer that they're showing us. Like, what lesson is she going to learn from listening to men's thoughts?
Yeah, that's kind of where the issue could be, right? Like, what is if the message doesn't land? If the message is, "Oh, men are just dumb and stupid all the time," you don't need to be so concerned. It's not going to be funny. But if there's a lesson, like with what I was saying with Mel Gibson, where the lesson's kind of like, hey, you can make your life way easier if you just are more respectful. Like it's not just, you're not just giving respect isn't just a taking away from you, but you're also gaining from that as well.
Right.
So there's a valuable point there. This,
right.
It's hard to say what it's going to be.
Right. Because it seems like the point of the trailer is to show her being a woman in a male environment, and she's not being promoted. So she's going to use this new power to gain the edge on the guys in her lives.
Yeah. But I think this looks like a great Netflix movie. I don't know if I'd see this in theaters. I do want to see it. I don't think I'm going to go out of my way to see it, but I'm looking forward to seeing it when I get to it.
Yeah, the last time that you had me on, I kind of say this a lot, and this is going to be one of those movies where I'll want to see it. I'm not going to go to a theater and see it. I'll forget about it, and then one night when I'm running through Netflix, I'll be like, "Oh yeah, that movie," and then I'll watch it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's just so many. It's just hard to keep up.
Yeah.
But yeah. So let us know in the comments below if you're looking forward to seeing it. If you like the idea, if you think the premise is dumb or the remake is unnecessary, put it down in the comments below.